What is going on, guys? DBG here, and this is going to be a little bit of a different video. In this video, we are going to be talking about NBA 2k23 MyTEAM, obviously. We're going to be talking about my 1 week impressions of the entire game mode. Do I think it's been a good game? Do I think it's a bad game? Where I think 2K have gone right and where I think 2K have gone wrong. So last year, I thought the 2k22 launch is like gameplay-wise, it launched fine. I thought the game mode of MyTEAM launched fine. And I think there are a few huge flaws with NBA 2k23 MyTEAM. And I also think there are a lot of good things. And also, unlike last year, I do think the flaws can very easily be fixed. Like, I don't think we see them change in Season 1, but I do think in Season 2 that these things can change. So, first of all, let's talk about things I like in this game. Gameplay-wise, I understand why people like it, and I understand why people hate it. Because the big thing is that, for me anyway, when I always talk about this game, like saying, oh, it's not really casual friendly, for me, you just never, you always do have a chance though. You always do have a chance. When it comes to really shooting wise, I don't think the shooting is the be all and end all. I don't think it's great. I think whites, they shouldn't go in like last year. Like, let's just chuck a white. It shouldn't go in like last year because that's just silly. What we should see is so hard to shoot a slightly in this game, but basically, yeah, I think the slightlies should have like, if you have a 90 rating, I think slightly should have like a 45% chance of going in if you're wide open, and like a 20% or 30% chance of going in if you're open, and like, I don't know, if you're contested, like 10% chance, because there has to be at least something for weaker players to compete. And I know you guys are like, but it's skill gap, but it's skill gap. This is a sports game at the end of the day. Like, people just play this game for fun. The ability to just pick up and play a sports game is such a huge factor on it. And like, again, I'm doing this to show you guys, yeah, no, I'm not really saying this about myself, because as you can see, greening shots is not really too much of an issue for me. I've gotten a lot better at it, whether it be fades, whatever it is, I've gotten a lot better at timing my shots. But again, the issue is that like you get just like different timings in almost every shot anyway. So it can be a little bit awkward. And that's one thing gameplay wise, corners don't drop anymore. Huge positive. Well, they don't drop as much. It's a lot harder to get corners to drop. Missed defensive rotations are still a good thing, or are still a thing, but it's not like there's a missed defensive rotation on every possession like there has been in previous years. It is what it is. In terms of the way they've done these base sets, I actually don't mind. I actually kind of like what they've done in terms of the base set here, and that all current players are in the token market. Sure, it gets rid of the old token market, but at the end of the day, the old token market only really matters for a short amount of time. At the same time, this token market only matters for a short amount of time, but it does allow you to build up a lot of cheap fodder. It allows you to build up a lot of cheap cards, and in general, it'll let you go and get the guys like John Stockton, Joakim Noah a lot easier. I currently don't have either of them because I'm kind of lacking tokens, but like when I get like 300-400 tokens, I'll just go and get myself Joakim Noah. But yeah, it will allow you to do that, especially because the tokens come very easy and current sets are coming. The one, again, I'll talk a little bit about my problems later, but the fact that these are the only plays in the game to pull anyone other than Amethyst in these sets is not great. But I do like the fact that on Friday, we're getting an entire new set of these cards, and then some new select cards. 5 new select cards, and then another mystery player, which I do kind of like. And the fact that through season 1, they said there's going to be 8 of these. So you never know, maybe midweek they change it. Maybe midweek they change it. One thing that I really like is the Donovan Mitchell grind. I don't have Mitchell yet. I'm nowhere even close to getting Mitchell. I'll get Mitchell. I'll lock in tomorrow to get Donovan Mitchell. It's currently 10 p.m. I will have to really lock in to get Donovan Mitchell tomorrow. Oh, lads. The steals are going to be rough. Everything else is fine. Everything else I can do in like 2 or 3 hours, but like I will have to really lock in for Mitchell tomorrow. But Iggy takeover is a joke, and I'll talk about that a little bit later. But that's one of the other things. I don't understand why this says locker code available. This is not a locker code, it's a free token. I don't know why they always say this is a locker code, but it's just simply not. Exhibitions, look, is it a great thing? I don't really think so. I completed the 2K day one. I could have swore I've already got that option back. Community service, 3 players. Pelicans don't have 3. Golden Gate Bridge. There was an issue with these guys that... Oh, why did I send Afro Man on one? No, Afro Man does not go on one. I might use him for a squad. But yeah, it's not a bad thing in the game. I don't think it matters. The exchange is kind of alright. And I really like the trophy case grind. The only issue with the trophy case grind is you see all these like random like historic trophies, the dailies. I'll go and get the daily. You get dupes like half the time. Like if you look at my trophies, I have gotten dupes in like 50% of my trophy case packs. And look at how few I have. It doesn't make sense how I think is it the hardened one? I think this might be the one I've got 3 times. There's one of them I've gotten 3 times. I've gotten this one 3 times actually with DeRozan. The DeRozan jersey. I've got this specific jersey 3 times. Like, I've opened about 10 of these packs. And I've gotten 2 of them 3 times. And then that's it, yeah. Maybe I've opened more than 10. But I've got 2 of them 3 times. It's really, really bad. I think it's a hard one and the DeRozan one. I definitely have had DeRozan 3 times. So, I like that. What I don't like is the fact that there's no like... There should be somewhere in like the community hub telling you where to get everything. Because everyone is just so confused. No one really knew. If somebody completed this challenge... Where's completed season agendas? If somebody completed this challenge right here... multiplayer points... and used it on the wrong player... You simply cannot get a trophy case card right now. You just can't. If you put it on the wrong team, you just can't. There's no other way of getting it. So I think it should be very, very clear what the cards are. But at the end of the day, look, it's I do like the trophy case concept. It's a really cool concept, and in general, I just don't think the cards are... I think the cards are up to much, if we're being honest. I really don't think they're up to much. They're not the greatest cards anymore, other than like worthy D-Rose. I think they're a really cool concept now. I do think, though, as the year goes on, this was my issue with putting them all in the game on day 1, is that we've already have like 3 players that are the equivalent of D-Rose, Francis, and those. And it just becomes, as time goes on, it becomes less and less worth it. So like getting a centerpiece reward right now is really cool. Getting a centerpiece reward in season 2 won't matter because you'll see cards for 30,000 MT that are better than every one of these cards. And why the hell would I grind 10 hours when I can just pay 30,000 MT? That's a bit of an issue. But still think I'm going to do trophy case. Still think I'm going to go to Dr. J and I'm done. I'm going to get Butler this season. I'm going to probably get Gilbert next season. Then by the time I get Ewing's going to be a bum. I mightn't even go for Gilbert. I might just pick and choose these Singham's players I want after Jimmy. I'm going for Dr. J and then I'm packing in. I might get Worthy. Worthy's probably not going to be worth it for his time. At that time anyway. But yeah, so they are the other good things. Unlimited is a really cool concept. I really like Unlimited. They've actually they have gotten rid of the boosters. They didn't for a while, but they've gotten rid of the boosters, which is good. And that is probably as far as it goes in terms of good things about 2K, unfortunately. We got to talk about the bad things. And the bad things are things that can't be fixed. This 2K essentially is either spend money, play this game like it's a full-time job, or to get nothing. To get a trophy case card. Trophy case cards are okay because at least none of them are really like time dependent. Although if you didn't do the token market for the 9, you're going to struggle. But it's not really time dependent too much. Like you're okay in terms of trophy case cards. If you don't want to play this game every single day, you can still get your trophy case cards. The issue is with these right here. So I really like the Mitchell agendas. Again, it's going to be hard for me to get them. I'll grind my ass off, but like this is just me being lazy. I may not get Mitchell, I probably will, but if I don't get Mitchell, it's my own fault. If I don't get Andre Iguodala, it is because I did not want to put full-time hours into this game. If you are an average player and have a 50... Actually, an average player in this game, because only sweats play online, and I'll talk about that later, wins about 35% of their games. Do you know how many hours it will take to get Andre Iguodala if you win 35% of your games? 60. Or say 50. 50. It's 50. I don't know why I calculated it. If you win 35% of your games, it will take you 50 hours to get Andre Iguodala. And that is not including every time somebody quits on you in a game. Every time somebody quits on you in a game and you get the loss. So that's an extra 5 minutes per game. That's probably pushes it up to about 40 or 35 hours. Or is it 30, or sorry, in around 40 hours maybe? So what am I talking about? 40 hours. Sorry, my brain's kind of fried. It just pushes it to a stupid amount of hours. Like, I have a full-time job and playing videos on this game, so I'm lucky I'm in a position where I probably can get Andre Iguodala in a week. And the issue is that Andre, you have 1 week to do it. You have 1 week to do it, lads. 1 week. It's like I have to do one of these every single day for the rest of the week. And if you don't do it in a week, these don't carry over. They actually don't carry over. So, for example, if I win 50 unlimited games, 25 clutch time online games, 25 TT online games, 35 clutch time online games, and 34 clutch time offline games, tough luck. You put in 50 hours into this game. If you don't get everything completed, it resets after a week. This is bullshit. I actually swore on video. If this gets demonetized, screw it. This is absolute BS. And all the logic is like, oh, but this is an alternative to people for luck. BS. Nobody in the history of this game has seen either of these top 2 cards in TT Online. I know NAF Gaming has played over 500 games of this. I've played over 150. I haven't seen either of these cards. You can't even ball drop glitch. So on the 1% chance you see one of the top 2 cards, you can't even ball drop glitch. And when it used to only be one player here, and it was the take or the limitless pack, no one ever saw the limitless pack either. I have seen so many 150 MT, so many Tento, so many Star Trophy packs, so many diamond shoes, and I've yet to see either of these. And I have literally asked on Twitter, I've been asking on stream, I'll have thousands of viewers, I'm like, look, have you seen any of these cards? No. Last year, if you did one row of the board, and there were 2 cards at the top, you would see the card probably one of every 2 to 3 boards. Now, you may see a card one of every 100 boards. There is a less than 1% chance of the card popping up. And even still, first of all, no one's seen the cards, so it doesn't even matter how hard it is to ball drop. With no ability to stagger or to hold ball drops and to delay ball drops using the ball drop method, the quit out method. Basically now, you have a 1 in 3 chance to hit a spot that is pure luck. Like you cannot aim. Hitting that spot is probably, you hit that spot maybe 1 of every 7 tries. And you have a 1 in 3 chance for a card that shows up 1 of every maybe 200 boards. And that is me being at a push saying 1 of every 200 boards. From the amount of people I've asked thousands of people who have combined played probably tens, if not hundreds of thousands of games, have they seen it? And the answer has been no. The odds are so low of getting one of these cards from this game mode that it may as well be mathematically impossible. So no, adding a full-time work week grind as an alternative is not it. That is not an alternative. Anyone says, oh, you don't have to get the cards. There's a difference between not getting the cards and not having the opportunity. For example, like I'm probably going to go and get Iguodala just because I just really want Iguodala and I think Iguodala will play. But this is my full-time job. The issue I have with this whole thing is that the game is not accessible. So, for example, Iguodala is a new card. All players know that you are not getting this card in the clutch time offline wheel. You are almost certainly not getting this card in the clutch time online wheel. I was the 0.01% that got Lamar Odom on the clutch time wheel. I know people that have played 300 clutch time games, not got them. I know people that have completed clutch time online, clutch time offline, and triple threat online and not seen them. Henry the Blaze has played like 500 games. He's seen none of them. Like they're so rare. It's like a 0.001% chance. I reckon it's probably 1 in every 1,000 games they pop up. And like that's a ridiculous amount. So we've all kind of come to the conclusion that you're not getting the cards by RNG. And the only real way to get the cards is either get lucky through the draft mode, which is people found out because there's probably a 1 in 2, 1 in 3 chance getting through the draft mode, or getting it through agendas. But in Donovan Mitchell, agendas are completely doable. They are completely reasonable. Like, is it getting these steals annoying and tedious? Yes, it is reasonable. But this is an unreasonable grind. So everyone that's gotten excited for Iggy looks at this grind and says, nah, I'm not going to play. I'm not going to go for him. And the big problem is that you see people on one side of the fence being like, people have to accept that they can't get every card. But that's terrible for the game. It's not that they can't get every card. Not everyone's going to get every card, and that's fine. It's people don't have the opportunity to get them. It's what was the biggest problem with Unlimited last year, is that you saw the 53 wins. You looked at Unlimited and were like, I'm not winning 53 games this season. I'm not going to play it. And that's the issue where it's going to be, I'm not going to get Iguodala. I'm not even going to try. Donovan Mitchell, fair enough. Like, if you say, oh, I'm not going to try to get Donovan Mitchell, it's like 150 steals. That's on you. That's a 5-6 hour grind for one of the best cards in the game. Look, I'm fine with that. I'm fine. Like, the Donovan Mitchell grind is 6-7 hours minimum. It's 6-7 hours. So, like, if you're putting in that type of grind for a card, you deserve to get something good. The Andre Iguodala grind is a full-time job. And then if you don't, it doesn't stay. What they should have with these takeover cards, yeah, there should be a new one every week. But you see the ones where it used to be like takeover cards here. What it should be is it should have been in lifetime agendas. You see these takeover goals, these goals here. Lamar Odom should have been in lifetime agendas for these goals, And you see these week-long ones for Mitchell get these amount of steals. Every single one of these, like Iguodala and Mitchell, should have similar to Mitchell requirements. And then Lamar Odom should have been in lifetime agendas so that whenever somebody plays enough of the game, everyone goes and gets the Lamar Odom, gets one of their takeover cards. And updating them every single week. Having at least one of them in lifetime. Or if you're going to put, like, say, these grinds right here. I don't know. This is just dumb. This is just incredibly dumb. It's incredibly dumb. It's incredibly dumb. And for the people that are getting really pissed when I'm saying incredibly dumb, anything that discourages people from playing the game is dumb. And you might be saying, no, it's encouraging people to play the game. Saying to people you have 1 week to play an entire works week worth of games is not encouraging people to play the game. Simply put, it's not. And then what I think is that 2K didn't want to put this in the game at all, and they wanted to put in like an alternative to RNG rewards in the game to appease people, but they made it so damn hard that it's essentially impossible for anyone that's not a full-time job. Domination is a freaking joke. These cards all stink. TT Online, TT Offline. I actually kind of like the way there's no top card. I like the way it's for a centerpiece. I like the way there's a lot of tokens. I like the fact that I like the new thing in the vault. The vault also opens like one of every 3, way less than last year, which is annoying again. TT Online. So basically, last year, it went to 3-1, and then the top 3 ones were 4 ball drops, 4 ball drops, and 5 ball drops. And then 2K changed it from the 100 to lose 5 games. And then some people were really annoyed being like, oh, we lost our ball drops. But like, if you guys don't know, it used to be 5-5-5. Or it used to be 4-5-5 in NBA 2K20. So these where we see 3-3-3, it used to be 4-5-5 in NBA 2K20. But they basically took away 2 losses. They basically made the same as 100, took away 2 losses and kept the same bad ball drops that they had for it being 100. It's just it's just not a very good concept. It's not a great concept, but at the same time, no contract, so I'm not that angry about it. It kind of evens out in the long run. MyTEAM Limited, they have nerfed the odds by so much, and they're doing the same crap as they did last year. We had in 2K21, we had really interesting things. We had like, use these college legends, use players from this team and that team. When it was like NBA Finals, they were based around things. For the last probably 10 months, maybe year of MyTEAM Limited, is literally just been, you can use like 1 Dark Matter, use 1 Amethyst, and then the rest have to be Rubies and lower. And like Rubies and lower would be cool. Don't get me wrong, using Rubies and lower would be cool. If we got new rubies. You can't even use the new card unless, you literally can't even use the new cards in packs. Yeah, you can use a Marcus Smart, we can use Tyson Chandler. You can't even use the cards that come in the weekend in limited. It's just not that enjoyable experience. There is a quick glitch because 2K want to stop boosting, and they stop boosting by basically meaning that if you start and quit and the game doesn't play, I think it's probably 2 minutes, a certain amount of time, both players get a loss. If somebody quits to start the game, both players get a loss, so it's deemed as a boosted game. No, someone just saw that my team was better than them and wanted to quit. Oh, I went 10-0 up in the first 35 seconds of a game. They quit the game. Boosting. Both players lose. No, that's BS. That's BS. It's one thing I really always complain about with 2K is that they create a bigger problem by trying to fix a small problem. The best way to fix boosting is doing exactly what they did. You see when they see boosters on the unlimited leaderboard, which is really obvious, you see a booster, you ban a booster. Simply put, you see a booster's count on the leaderboard, you ban the booster. If someone's boosting and they're not getting on the leaderboard, screw it. It is a small enough problem that you can ignore it. You can completely ignore that situation. But the game is now almost unplayable because if you have a good squad, people quit out you literally get losses. If you have a good squad, you load up into a game and people quit before the game starts and it's over. You lost. Or if you're someone that's on the leaderboards, you load into a game and suddenly they see the amount of points you have. They see like number 1 the leaderboard. They quit out 10 seconds in the game. You get a loss. Like, no, they created a bigger problem trying to fix a small problem. Like boosting, It's an issue, but it can be fixed in a way that they didn't fix it, which is a huge problem. My Team Limited also, you used to get a ring one of every 2 or 3 games. I know people that have played 30 plus games and not even seen a ring. So it's a big issue. I'm not even touching Limited. Couldn't give a damn about getting a takeover card. I'm not give a damn. I am not sitting there on my weekend because like I'm away. I think it's not next weekend, the weekend after. I think I'm away. Like it's my birthday weekend, so I'm not playing this game. And like, because I knew I'm not going to play this game one weekend in weekend 4 of the game, I just said, I'm not playing this game at all. And I know you can say, oh yeah, you get the rewards, but like, I couldn't give a damn about 25k MT. I couldn't give a damn. Like 100 tokens is alright, but 100 tokens you can get for nothing in this game. I couldn't give a damn about these rewards. Why would I care about getting a freaking week 1 pack? It gives you a 1% chance you can get a card in the pack. Why would I care? The only reason I play this mode is for the grand prize. And if you can't get the grand prize, what's the freaking point to play it? And I know it's much better that you get all the rewards, but it is still, as I always say, the most important thing is making a game accessible. And people know we're not getting the top prize unless we are able to sit there and get lucky for 6 weekends straight. And a lot of people don't want to do that. And I know some people do. It is definitely better for those that are going to play unlimited no matter what. But this is not encouraging anyone who wouldn't have otherwise played limited to play limited. Clutch time online, again, it's just a sweat fest. I have no issues with that. The only issue is that when someone quits out on you in the lineup screen, you get a loss. That is the only issue with clutch time online. Unlimited, I'm fine with. TTO co-op is on rookie difficulty. And most hype game mode in the game, they put it on freaking rookie. And just in general, with packs, I'll talk a little bit about that. Not putting Ruby cards into packs takes so much hype out of them is unbelievable. I know so many people that are looking at these packs and are like, why would I care? I don't have 100,000 MT. I don't have the MT to go and buy a Zion. I don't have the MT to go and buy an Oladipo. I don't have the MT to go and buy a freaking Vince or a Pink Diamond Zion. I used to love getting the lower level cards. And that was my favorite thing about the game. I used to love that. And now I don't give a damn about Fridays. The only days I'm excited for are Tuesdays because of Shades Off packs. Oh man, Bankero, I miss you. I freaking miss you. But like the only thing I care about are the Shades Off packs because we're going to be getting a Jaden Ivey. We're going to be getting these Evo cards. We're going to be getting these guys that are like 7, 8 KMT. We can make up the good cards. I couldn't give a damn about Fridays, and I think a lot of people can't. If you are not someone that's going to have spent a lot of time on this game to get up MT or a lot of money on this game, you're not going to give a damn about Fridays anymore. So I'm sorry. Like, I understand the logic of we want to replace rubies with these guys. People weren't really getting excited about getting rubies. But yes, the 1%, the guys that are putting in 450s every single week aren't going to get excited. But what about the people that put in 1 to 2 450s a year? And that's where the big issue is that everything in this game was put in, pretty sure, based on feedback. It was based on feedback by certain people. And you might be saying, you've always been asking for grinds. No, I've been very clear with what I've asked for in grinds. I want frequent, small grinds. Like, I would be fine if they just chucked in a bunch of, like, Ruby cards and they were attainable in an hour. And then they eventually lock in for a bigger grind. Like, I don't know, you see this Donovan Mitchell card right here? You want to know what I think would have been really cool? If they did it, like, last year, where it was, you get a certain amount of things, and then you get, like, a Ruby Donovan Mitchell. And then you go and get an Amethyst Donovan Mitchell. And then eventually you go and get the Diamond Donovan Mitchell, where, like, the Amethyst and the Ruby can't play point guard. And then, like, this one can't play point guard. You get those cards. So that if you don't have the time to get these cards, you have a chance. Or for the Andre Iguodala grind, I don't know, win 35 clutch time games, you get, like, a lower Iguodala, and you get a mid Iguodala, and then you get, if you complete it all, you get this Iguodala. It just means that everybody who is playing the game of every level has something to go for. And now the issue is that if you're someone like myself, this is great. And this is the reason why I was so, like, high in this game initially, is that this game is made for someone like me, who's it's my life. Like, this is my job, is what I do for a living. This game is made for someone like me, but it is not made for people who don't have that time. Like, I get so many messages from people, they're like, I play this game 2 hours a day. I can't, like, there's no point. And then you can have the argument, you hear this argument, especially from people that, let's be real, it's in their very much best interest to not talk negative about the game, saying like, oh, you can use all of these, like, these cards all come out. And I do think these are a good thing. But at the same time, like, there's the original owner concept for Cade, which I'm not going to keep going into. It was a terrible idea. But you're like, oh, you can go and get the trophy case rewards. Like, it's hard to do. Like, if you start off this game in day 3, trophy case rewards are really freaking hard because you don't get the tokens. We all have that benefit. The token cards, 9 of them. The starter cards are really good. But, like, if I come up with this team right here and I come up against Donovan Mitchell, I don't know who's really good too, guys. Zach LaVine, AK, and maybe Odom's an exception. But, like, let's say I don't have Odom. Let's just say I have like 20k, and Odom's replaced by like Tatum or something, and I still have Sohan and I still have Chandler. I'm gonna get eaten alive by the point guards. Like, you need, like, unless, like, you need. There is nobody under 25k that I would say is a quote-unquote card that can really compete with the best. Maybe Giannis, but they're still 30 tokens. Like, the token cards are good, but as time goes on, that's going to be a struggle. And if we continue to not get good budget options, like, what I'm hoping for is that when these next 2 sets come in, sometime during this week, that we get some elite ruby cards, like, because we need some elite ruby and lower cards. If we do get elite rubies and some really nice sapphires that can really compete, then I'm all for it. But, like, who's the one with 3 golds? Like, but, like, if we're looking at week 1, we've got 3 silver badges and a grand hill. I don't think that's gonna happen. Like, these are just base set cards. Promo cards are always better than base set cards. Like, these are better than any of the amethysts you're gonna get from a base set. These are better than any of the sapphires you're gonna get from a base set, better than any rubies you're gonna get from a base set, and better than any of the amethysts. So you just always have to take that into account. So yeah, it's a little bit of a ramble, and this is the type of video I don't want to put on the DBG channel from now on, but I'm still going to do it now because I do feel it is important. The way my team has gone this year, is 2k23 a good game? I think yes. Is it the highest quote-unquote skill gap game? Yes. Is this game work in the way that it was intended by the developers? Yes. Is this game really, really good for people who have infinite time? Yes. Yes, it is. But there are huge issues. Is this game okay for people that play an hour or 2 a day and it's 2K is their main game? Yeah, it's fine for that. Is this game good for people who may have 4 hours a week to play video games? No. No. Like, I always pride myself on saying that my channel makes this game as accessible as possible to people. I pride myself on my ability to make this game as accessible as possible to people. And I'm saying this right now. If you are not willing to play the living daylight out of this game or spend a lot of money, you stand no chance. Don't play this mode. I'm being dead serious. Don't do it. It's not worth it. In its current state, it is not worth doing. And a lot of people are like, oh, but like, all you asked for were long grinds. No, I didn't. No, I didn't. What I said was we need specific, short, multiple specific, short, frequent grinds. Because the issue is people are like, oh, there's always something for people to do. And my biggest problem with Unlimited is it becomes an overwhelming factor. When everything is a marathon, when everything is like climbing Everest, nobody does anything. When you have to climb Everest, if you are given with the task of climbing Everest for some absolute god tier reward, or you can climb 50 smaller mountains to get 50 smaller rewards, and then at the end of those 50 smaller mountains, you still get the same prize as for climbing Everest. And it takes, those 50 smaller mountains is the exact same amount of steps and takes the exact same amount of times as climbing Everest. People would take the latter 1,000 million times out of a million than the former. Because the former, people see the reward and you're like, you know what? I'm seeing the mountain. I would love the reward, it's just not worth it. And then the other option is a case of people saying, okay, maybe I do complete it all and get the top reward. That would be insane. But at least on the way to top reward, I get this, I get this, I get this, I get this, I get this. So, and it's like, you know what, if I drop short, I'm still cool. Just like level 40. I'm like, look, if I drop short for level 40 and I don't get the 150k XP, I'm cool with it. Because at least I still get my Elite Franchise Pack. I still get some things along the way. I still get some tokens. I still get my Ascension boards. So like, I'm cool with like climbing up the levels. The issue is that this is every one of these, every grind that 2K brought in is climbing Everest. And if you aren't willing to climb Everest, you get nothing. So the argument of 2K have just put out too much stuff to grind, it's impossible to grind. That is simultaneously true and not true. But also, like, there's nothing if you don't want to put, if you don't want to put in the tens, if you don't want to put in 50 hours a week into this game, like, you're not getting that much, to be honest. You're going to struggle. Or not 50, probably 10, 20 hours a week. If you're not putting 20 hours a week in this game, you're getting nothing. Absolutely nothing out of it. Another big issue I have are the untradeable packs. So, what I initially thought when it came to untradeable packs was that we were going to be getting way more of them. But it seems through level 40, we get the exact same packs we get last year. The difference is you can't even get lucky anymore. You can't even get lucky on a free pack. Like, and I get it, no contracts, probably in the grand scheme of things, it works out well. But like, if you're going to give us untradeable packs, literally give us more. There is no reason why 2K literally stopped. They literally stopped giving us locker codes on content days. They gave us locker codes for the last 3 years, or the last 2 years on content days for packs, for a chance at a pack. How do you stop that while also making the packs essentially worthless because you're not getting anything good, first of all, and if you do happen to get something good, you can't even sell them. Like, it doesn't make sense. And then don't get me started on the fact that you're making us play 30 minutes for one token. Don't even get me started on the fact that people are like, oh, get these token rewards. Play Domination for one token per game. This is so bad. Like, this is so bad. This is so bad. Like, you don't, with how easy it is to make tokens. Like, you have a big thing, Token Mania. It's, like, if you played every waking hour, I'm not even joking. If you played every waking hour of Token Mania, you would have, what was it? It is 4 days. It's 3 days. So it is 96 hours, or 72 hours. So it is 72 hours by 2 is you get 150 tokens. If you played every waking hour of Token Mania, you get 152 tokens. If you play MyTEAM Unlimited for 3,300 points is, it's just like 17 games. If you play MyTEAM Unlimited for like 7 hours, 8 hours, you get 60 more tokens. For 10% of the time playing this mode, you get 60 more tokens than playing every waking hour on Domination. It is a freaking farce, man. It is a farce. But yeah, this game is not... I actually think that this game has the potential to be really good. And I'm going to be like completely honest here. Gameplay-wise, the green or miss, they got to tweak it, but also keep it somewhat. The white percentage needs to be really low, but it has to be a little bit higher. Like, come on, for guys that aren't fanatics, it's got to be a little bit higher. Maybe on wide open whites you make 30% or something, depending on rating. That's like, even that would make it possible, because I played against dudes who literally just can't score in this game. It's like for some, unless you are skilled, this is 2K21 Part 2. So that's not the greatest thing in the world. Trophy case rewards, I don't mind them. I really don't. I just wish they were more clear on how to get them. I think trophy case is really cool right now, but I do think that once we get, I think trophy case is going to be an absolute nothing concept very, very soon, because it's looking like they're going to want to keep this through 6 seasons. It's looking like they want to base their whole thing around centerpieces, and by season 3, the centerpiece, like, these cards aren't going to be very good. Like, by season 3, maybe 6 of these cards are going to be usable. But yet, we're going to have to complete modes for cards that aren't really good. So that's a little bit of an issue. Is that the issue I had with the start of it, is that it's going to be a lot of hype to start and it's going to drop, and I'm very confident that's going to happen again. But I love the unlimited concept. I like the idea of co-op. Don't like that it's on rookie difficulty. I think that there's too much of a gap between... You might be saying, oh, but like whites go in, it's the casual mode, which is kind of understandable, but it's not even the fact where it's like whites go in, it's like every shot goes in on this difficulty. It doesn't matter. You can chuck 100% contest and it goes in. There has to be something between this rookie difficulty and like actual green or miss. I think tweaking green or miss rather than just saying let's put it on rookie is the answer. This game mode has become one of the least worth it game modes in the history of the mode. Clutch time, it's fine. Clutch time, it's fine. Limited, same crap, same flaws as last year. I like the fact you can get every reward. but they have reduced their getting the rings by a factor of 10. RNG is essentially impossible. If you are somebody that just wants to log in on a Friday and has 20,000 MT, it used to be a case where you could get like 4 or 5 new cards. You could have fun with trying to like get new cards. Now you can't, because let's be real, if you don't have that MT, you get a bum. You can get Zion Williamson as a bum, and you can get Chandler. I think that's really it. Shades of is cool. These base sets, I like the idea of it, but using that as an alternative to giving us lower tier cards and packs is not good. And yeah, I think that this mode has a lot of potential, and I do think it's going to be a really good year of my team. I think the way it is being done right now was entirely taken with the top 1% in mind. I think everything gameplay wise was all based on feedback from the top 1%, because let's be real, the next makers who they are taking the feedback of are the top 1 to 5% of players most of the time, or at least the top 1 to 5% in terms of time on the game. And I do think that that has been a huge issue. Maybe it's a non-issue for you guys, but for people in this chat that are casuals, for people in this chat that don't play a lot of this game, I keep getting messages complaining about the same things. For me personally, I think it's very good with the amount of time I put on the game. It is getting me to play the game, but I don't think the solution should be the solution for like the lack of people wanting to play the game should be appealing to the 1% while alienating the 99%. I think the solution has to be something like a Season 7 from last year, a Season 6 from last year. Season 6, obviously, card every day, you're not going to be able to do that. But something like a Season 7 where we start to get more stuff, more frequent short grinds. Like every Wednesday, it was like freaking 15 TT online games, 50 or 30 TT offline games. It's 4 or 5 hours. Why couldn't a grind be something like that? You don't have to make the cards as good as Donovan Mitchell. And I understand the logic of, oh, these are the best cards in the game, you shouldn't give them to everybody. I would take these cards being 15% worse. Like, fair enough, make them diamonds. Don't make them damn best cards in the game, but make them at least attainable for people. I think people would I think the vast majority of player base would rather have a slightly worse card that they have a chance of getting than a god tier card that they just take one look at and say, I'm never getting that, I give up. But yeah, that is like 40 minutes kind of rambling about this game. Let me know what you guys think. This is my opinions 1 week in. I think it's going to change. I don't think the game continues on like this. I think I would be shocked if there are as many players playing as this time last year, and you can't use COVID as an excuse anymore. September 21, there was barely anything. It's hard to find a game on Xbox EU. And look, I'm not saying this is a bad game. I actually do like it. Like last year, I thought there were a lot of flaws. And I thought last year's flaws were a lot bigger than this year's flaws. This is the potential to be the best 2K ever. I just think a lot of the things that have been done so far is to make this game the best 2K ever for the 1%, while also alienating the 99%. And I think there's got to be like tweaks. They got to balance it. They got to make the game way more accessible. They got to make the game more accessible, because the way it is right now, the current player base, normally you get more players throughout the year at different times the game goes on sale. The way the game is right now, you're not going to get that creep up of players. Players are going to come into this game and quit. Like, this is a sports game. It's meant to be accessible. This is not meant to be video. This is not meant to be sports game Dark Souls. If you want to go and play Dark Souls, play Dark Souls. If you want to have this like frustratingly strong experience, go do that. But sports games are meant to be accessible. They're 3+, E for everybody. An 8-year-old should at least maybe not win. Obviously not win, but not even 8-year-old. That's probably exaggerating. A 13-year-old should be able to at least pick up this game and put the ball in the basket. Whereas that's a little bit of an issue. A 13-year-old should be able to just play this game and be like, oh, I want to get a couple of cards. Token market cards were cool. Everything we saw on day one was cool. What we've seen since then, though, it's been a bit iffy. It has been a bit iffy. So let me know what you guys think. If you guys agree, if you guys completely disagree. This is just my opinion. My opinion doesn't mean more than other people's opinions. There's guys, again, not gonna lie, a lot of people on freaking payroll that are really, really happy. But there are people that aren't, that are genuinely happy with the game. And I see a lot of the positives. I just think that this year there are so many real positives and there are so many real negatives that if they can find a way of like getting rid of some of those negatives, we could have the best year in my team. So I'm optimistic, but to say this game is flawless is wrong. To say this game isn't severely flawed is wrong. And maybe I'm biased from the content creator perspective, because the less accessible this game is, the less views I get and the worse I do financially, the worse it is my job. I'm definitely biased in some way. But at the same time, I think people getting interested in this mode helps everybody. So that's the video. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.